Matt Cardona attacks Gunther for insulting Chelsea Green. What happens when an unstoppable ring general meets the Indy God with an absolute point to prove? You get utter, unadulterated, glorious chaos live on Friday Night SmackDown. Welcome back to Wrestling Rush News, your absolute top-tier destination for everything wild, dramatic, and downright explosive in the world of professional wrestling. Before we dive headfirst into the madness that completely shattered the arena floor, hit that subscribe button right now and slap that notification bell so you never miss out on the latest ringside drama. Now, let us set the stage because SmackDown on August 14th was absolute cinema. Gunther, a man who carries himself like a strict Victorian headmaster who actively hates fun, walked into the middle of the squared circle with his usual aura of terrifying dominance. But instead of talking about his own greatness, he decided to set his sights on the interim WWE Women's Champion herself, Chelsea Green. Gunther stood under those bright stadium lights and laid into her with pure condescension, dismissing her championship reign as nothing more than a temporary fluke and tossing around derogatory remarks like he was handing out cheap flyers on a street corner. It was classic Gunther, cold, calculated, and needlessly brutal. He was talking down to Chelsea as if she were a minor inconvenience rather than a holding gold in the biggest wrestling promotion on the planet. Just when it seemed like Gunther was going to wrap up his masterclass in verbal disrespect uninterrupted, the arena speakers exploded with a sound nobody saw coming. Out marched the Indy God himself, Matt Cardona. Now, Matt Cardona returning to a WWE ring to handle business feels like someone bringing a flamethrower to a quiet library discussion. He marched down that ramp with absolute purpose, ready to defend his wife's honor in front of tens of thousands of screaming fans. Cardona stepped through those ropes, got directly into the heavy-chested Austrian's personal space, and demanded an immediate apology. But if you know anything about Gunther, you know the word sorry is not in his vocabulary. Instead of backing down, Gunther looked Cardona up and down with absolute disdain, leaned into the microphone, and hit him with a line so sharp it practically cut the air in half. Gunther mocked Cardona for spending years languishing in catering, treating Matt like a glorified fan who accidentally wandered past security. It was the ultimate disrespect, comparing a seasoned veteran who built an entire independent empire to a guy who just shows up for free hot dogs behind the curtain. That single insult was the exact moment the fuse ran out. Cardona did not wait for a referee to ring an official bell. He did not wait for security to step in. He snapped. Cardona launched himself at the giant, unleashed a flurry of wild, high-energy punches right into Gunther's jaw, and sent the massive ring general staggering backward into the turnbuckles. The crowd absolutely lost their collective minds. It went from a tense verbal standoff to an all-out tavern brawl in less than a second. Gunther tried to throw those legendary, soul-crushing chest chops, but Cardona was completely fueled by pure adrenaline and righteous indignation. The fight spilled right out of the ring and over the top rope, crashing onto the arena floor with impact you could feel in the cheap seats. Security guards rushed down the aisle like chaotic background actors in a disaster movie, trying desperately to separate the two men, but Matt Cardona was an absolute man possessed. He dodged the security wave, grabbed a steel chair from beside the timekeeper's table, and cracked it straight across Gunther's back with a thunderous echo that shook the building. Gunther, who usually looks like an immortal marble statue that feels no human pain, was actually forced down onto his knees. Cardona kept the pressure on, landing a final brutal boot that sent the ring general retreating through the crowd, completely stunned and holding his ribs. The visual of Matt Cardona standing high on the barricade, wielding a steel chair with Chelsea Green cheering him on while the audience chanted his name, was an instant classic moment. It proved that no matter how big or scary Gunther thinks he is, you never mess with a husband who has everything to prove and a steel chair in his hands. Thank you so much for watching Wrestling Rush News.